heck, even referring to, mental health, I mean,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
being a coach in the weight room, it's kind of like it's a low stress environment for some people. It's a place where, especially my guys, where they let their hair down, they enjoy training.
yeah.
So they'll come in there and they'll, let you know if something's going on, or you get to know them at a different level, and you can always, sort of take the stigma off of the psychologist and the mental side
Right.
of getting a little bit of help there. And so, as far as referring out, man, those can be some of the most meaningful referrals you can make, man. You can save somebody's
That's
life because you've gotten to know them a little bit, and you can get in their head. And and that's where the coaching and the beauty of strength and conditioning is, right? Too, where you can, we're talking about that offline too, about how we just love this profession, and how you can affect people's behaviors and try to
yeah.
change your life through training. And it's not always just about different types of squats and percentages and X's and O's, but it's about helping people get rid of bad habits or picking up good ones, and
Yeah.
even if you get to know somebody, you can refer them to another professional that can have a huge impact on them.
I look at guys now, I look at men and women that I've trained in the past who are no longer athletes or doing anything in the tactical world, because some of those guys, but I look at how they look physically and the successes in their lives that they're having with family and those kind of things. And we used to talk about, this is part of it. What you do in here is what you're going to do on your next job. If you give up in here training and don't push for the next rep, what happens when it gets tough raising the kids? Simple stuff like that. I remember when my daughter was coming up and I was going from duty station to duty station, and I'd come home after anywhere between 10 and 16 hours, and she was, stuck to me like glue. Hey, you love it, but you got
Oh,
to be able to deal with it.
yeah, I mean that's a whole nother. We could have a whole nother podcast. You might have to bring in might have to refer out to a specialist for me here. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
oh man, 100%. And that's one thing too, is getting older. As far as having, now I'm not, a young coach. I was on a couple podcasts a long time ago though, back when my Instagram was filled up with MMA fighters and NFL players, from my old
Right.
gym. So
Right.
I'd be invited on a podcast or two. But yeah, no, now as, being a dad, and having kids, and then relating that to the service members and the people that I work with now. I mean, like you said, they'll go on long trips, be gone for 3 months, come home, which isn't a long trip to everybody. For our guys, it is.
Yeah.
Uh, but, then going home, and, oftentimes they have a much easier life when they're deployed, when they don't have to worry about, bills or house stuff, or
They
having to
got
know
one
judge their kids.
focus.
Yeah, when they can go through a one track mind, and they can just do their job and train and eat and go to bed and repeat. Yeah, it's a wild ride. I mean, shoot, I even, thinking about that, I ran a marathon last year, which
Whew.
is a whole a thing all itself. But yeah, having your kids kind of at the finish line and seeing you do things like that, it's and then even bringing them to work with me. Like last week, they were off school, so I could bring them to work with me and show them the facility and see what I do and see people train. It's a pretty cool thing, man. So it's cool when it
Yes.
can bleed over into your personal life too.